Well, welcome back. Let's talk about adjectives today. I'm sure you have, as I have, often heard of adjectives as being describing words, but really, that does not go far enough. In fact, I don't like the definition describing word at all for an adjective because there are other words like adverbs that describe as well. That's why I had you memorize this definition. An adjective describes or modifies a noun or pronoun. We can look at this webpage and you can see all these adjectives that are being used here to help describe nouns or pronouns. Afraid, ajar, alike, angry, asleep, awake, bad. These others that help compare size: big, bigger, biggest, black, blue for colors, brave or brittle, and many, many more. So one way to tell if a word is an adjective or not is if it answers a certain question. Actually, there are 3 questions. What kind? What kind is something? Is it huge, ugly, big? Is it hairy, smooth, crinkled? What kind of thing is it? Which one is it? This one, that one, the one, a one, his, hers, which one? And the third question, how many or how much? This deals with the amount. Few, several, 15, how many? Some, a lot, how much? Well, let's look at sentences that have to do with what kind. Here are sentences that have to do with what kind. Popular singers dress in crazy clothes. Tired and dirty dogs raced across narrow fields. Old hollow trees make perfect places for bees. Now, not only is it important to find the adjective, but we need to know which noun or pronoun that adjective describes. So let's look at our first sentence. Popular singers dress in crazy clothes. Again, all of these adjectives will have to do with what kind. Well, what kind of singers do we have? We have popular singers. So I underline the adjective popular and draw an arrow to the noun or pronoun it describes. We have another descriptive word here, crazy. It describes clothes. What type of clothes? What kind? Crazy ones. Let's look at the second sentence. Tired and dirty dogs raced across narrow fields. We can look all through there, and maybe you'll see words like and raced, and across. And you have to look at that and say, does that word describe a noun or pronoun? Well, no, it doesn't. There are words that do, though. Tired, that describes dogs. And dirty, that describes dogs. There's one more adjective. Can you find it? Narrow describes what kind of fields we're talking about. Now our last sentence here, old hollow trees make perfect places for bees. A rhyming sentence. Well, let's look. Are there words here that describe nouns or pronouns? Don't get attracted to words like for or make. Those words don't really work. Look at hollow. Does it describe any word? Trees. What kind of tree? A hollow tree. And not only a hollow tree, an old tree. There's one more adjective here. Can you find it? No, it's not bees. That's a noun. And places? Well, that's a person, place, or thing. That's a noun as well. It's only this last word here, perfect. It's describing what kind of places. It describes the noun places. Well, let's look at a second type of adjective, those that describe which one. These are ones that point out a certain word or phrase. Let's look at the first sentence. The car belongs to that man. Well, what words in here point out a certain word? Which car is it, we ask? Well, it's the car. The is an adjective describing car. It tells us which one. Which man is it? What's that particular man there? So that is a word also that describes something. Look at another sentence here. This bike needs that oil. This bike. Which bike? This one. Which oil? That oil. That being a word describing oil. You see also that we have learned about these words, this, that, these, and those, and that we learned they are a type of pronoun. It's important to realize that sometimes a pronoun acts like an adjective, and it's okay to describe it as such. If I look at this sentence, his test was harder than her quiz, I can actually find two pronouns that act like adjectives. Can you find them? His test. Her quiz. Those two pronouns, his and her, act like adjectives. And it's okay to describe them as adjectives. How many? How much? Those are two ways to describe a same kind of a question of amount. If it's a numbered amount, we'll say how many. If it's an amount that cannot be numbered, we would say how much. Few sodas can compete with Dr. Pepper. How many sodas can compete with Dr. Pepper? Very few sodas. Some drinks try, but they fail. How many drinks? Some drinks. 23 flavors make up the drink. How many flavors? 23 flavors. So now you know a little bit about adjectives. You know that they describe nouns or pronouns. You know that adjectives answer the questions what kind, which one, or how many or how much about nouns and pronouns. I have a simple task for you today. Write 3 sentences. In each sentence, try to use an adjective that answers the question what kind, an adjective that answers which one, and an adjective that answers how many or how much. Identify those adjectives and draw a line to the noun or pronoun that they describe. Thank you. See you in class.